You're watching Team Talks. It is now time to talk about the Premier League leaders. The Gunners travel to Burnley this weekend, and Mikel is under no illusions as to the challenge that awaits his side.
The game against Burnley is going to be really tough. They are extremely well coached, and it's called really well what is done with the club and with this team. It's formidable, and when you look at all the games, and I see 5 of those, the last games that they played, very, very tough team to beat.
Darren, Arsenal had an outrageous October. 6 games, 6 wins, no goals conceded. And people are still complaining about the way in which they are scoring goals. Yeah, it's hard to believe, isn't it?
It is hard to believe. You don't get extra marks for artistic impression, just pats on the head and your hair ruffled. I think as far as they're concerned, what he has done has been an outstanding vindication of his transfer policy. He's brought defenders in as if he's collecting them, and they have provided the platform for Eze to do that, and all of their attacking players to do that. 3 goals conceded in their 9 games so far. I think it's 6 clean sheets in a row now. And it took a bit of brilliance from Liverpool Szoboszlai to beat them. City scored against them as well.
Ironically, from a set piece.
From a set piece as well. They are the leading scorers in set piece terms as well in the Premier League. Arteta's built a machine. I don't think he will care one bit what anybody else thinks of him. They are there by right.
I feel like they can't win because when they were scoring elaborate goals, people were accusing them of trying to walk the ball into the back of the net, and now the set pieces are an issue. 31.3% of their goals in the Premier League have come from open play. It's
11
the fewest.
Of the 16
it's
have been
the
from
fewest
set
in the league.
pieces, yeah.
Yeah. Tim, winnable?
Yeah, absolutely. The amount of time what he spends on them set pieces is 100% sustainable, and it's not. It's about the delivery. Delivery is second to none. Whether it's Saka, whether it's Odegaard, whether it's Declan Rice, it's on the button, and they're attacking for their lives. You know, and they're big guys. And Eddie Howe talked about it today in his press conference about when you're recruiting players now, you're recruiting size as well. Whereas, you know, you used to have a couple of Oompa Loompas around, didn't you? You know, couldn't get the ball off them. They're popping it around.
Google them if you don't know where they are at home.
not anymore. Land of the Giants. Land of the Giants.
You know when you won the league with Blackburn, how soon into the league did you start to think, we got this?
Beginning of the season, we believed, because we finished second the year before, so we had real belief. But we had a momentum. If we couldn't win games, we wouldn't lose them. We shut up shop, which was a point. The mood was fantastic going into the following week. I just felt we had real belief. I just see this side is exactly the same.
Is this run of form better than that run of form that you had to give you that confidence backing up that belief?
No, we had a run of form like that, but they're doing it different ways. But I don't care how you do it, and I don't think he cares how they do it. You know, they can open teams up. Of course they can. And we see that because they've got the quality to be able to do it. But if it needs to be a set piece, a team sitting back, when we won the league back in the day, teams used to go, no matter who the teams were, if they were at the bottom of the league or they're at the top of the league, they used to go head to head. They go toe to toe. No one started the game saying we're not going to lose today. There's a lot of teams now in the Premier League sit out there and just put a block in there and just say, hopefully we can take a draw. And they need to find different ways because it's difficult to break down. When you play forward against defence in training, sometimes it's hard to break down the defence when you put the reserve team in there. But they have to find a way. They have to find a way on a Saturday, and what they're doing it with is set pieces. So when they score on a set piece, then the other team has to come out and then they open them up because they've got more space to occupy. But I love them. I mean, it's hard for me to say, but I just think they tick every single box. And at the moment, I just think they've got 2 hands on the trophy. It's theirs to lose.
What's interesting, though, is I interviewed Declan Rice after the Fulham victory and said, you know, back to the top of the table, are you looking at that at the moment? And he said, you know, we've been here before, and it's not something they're thinking about. What do you think is really happening in the dressing room? They be talking about it?
Yeah, but they're talking about it for like, they finished the bridesmaid 3 times. Now they're going to be the bride. They're getting ready for it's their big day. And there's never going to be a better chance. The quality of what they have around the squad, in depth now, when they get injuries, doesn't matter, just bring another one in. They're coping at the moment with it, but it's not over because Liverpool are a juggernaut and they will come with a run, like I said, and Man City will still be there. But apart from that, I think, for me, it's Arsenal's to lose.
Quick question, how do you think Burnley approach this one? Because they made it difficult for Liverpool. They went toe-to-toe with Manchester United as well.
They will be parking the bus.
Oh.
Talking of Arsenal, in contrast to Liverpool's struggles, Arsenal looking pretty unstoppable right now, aren't they? They've gone through October without conceding a single goal, and they could open up a 7-point lead at the top of the table with victory at Burnley tomorrow.
I see everybody in their toes, ready for the next game, and accepting that challenge and understanding that the opportunity is there as well. And if we do what we have to do, we have a big opportunity to win again. We have to focus on the journey and what we have to do every single day. Fixing the outcome, of course, we want to win it, and the preparation is towards that. Great. And now we have said all the protocols, processes, ambitions, everything, and now you have to focus on what you have to do. If not, you get distracted with the rest, and I don't want any of that in and around the team.
Well, they've got big ambitions this season, haven't they? Jody, Jamie Carragher says that Gabriel is maybe the most important player in the Premier League at the moment. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I can see his importance to Arsenal. I wouldn't
Not to other sides, no.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't necessarily call it in the Premier League, but I can see Carragher with his defensive hat on and seeing how important Gabriel is to not just the defensive line, but how important he is at set pieces. He's a bit of a leader. But me personally, I really like the partnership with him and Saliba. I know Saliba hasn't played every game this year, but I'm also saying I think them as a partnership with the way that the team defend, it enables players like Gabriel to show their leadership qualities, not only in both boxes, but with how he is with the rest of his players as like he's not the captain, but if you've got a few of those leaders in your team, I agree with Carrie. He's certainly one of the most important players.
Yeah. Okay, one of. We'll settle on that.
Yeah.
It feels like they do have quite a few leaders now, though, doesn't it?
I think that's what the manager's been trying to conjure up and build. Yeah. I think most of the top clubs and most clubs nowadays do their due diligence trying to recruit, and they've certainly recruited really well, both with the technical gifted flair players as well as the sturdier ones that are, like I say, going to help the defensive aspect of it, and they're certainly a big side to be competing with.
What do we make of all the set-piece talk? Because 69% of their goals this season have come from set pieces. Is it sustainable, or is it a case of, well, if you keep scoring from set pieces, well, we'll keep going with it until it isn't?
Yeah, I think in the short term, I think go with it. I think you find your strength and you find your way to win games. We were speaking off air earlier about when Arsenal go and play teams now, a lot of teams are in a low block, so it is hard for their more sort of attacking players to break defences down. So you do have to look at other ways to score goals, other ways to beat your opponent, and they found something here, and they found a gem in their set piece coach. We see quite a lot of him, don't we, on the sideline? But
rightly so.
He's like you say, rightly so. What he's doing and the ideas that he comes up with. Yeah, the players have got to implement it, but you find weaknesses in your opponent, and football seems to be going that way where there's a lot of teams that are very set piece based at the moment, and he's really helping them out.
Does style matter? I know Arsenal fans at the moment, they won't care how they're scoring their goals, and they won't care if they're winning by 1-0 or 5-0 to an extent. Whereas if you speak to opposition fans of Arsenal at the moment, they're saying it's so boring to watch. Like, if they go 1-0 up, I'll turn the TV off.
Yeah, but it's back to Mark's point. The respect that teams are giving the better teams nowadays means that they're going into the low block. But if you come out and want to play against Arsenal, they'll tear you apart with their passing and their quick movement and their attacking ability. But most teams ain't doing that because of the level of where Mikel Arteta has got his team to. I think they've been like that for a couple of years, to be honest. And yes, would they like to be creating more chances from open play? I'd probably say yeah. But even when people were trying to be critical of Arsenal and Arteta at the beginning of the season, you're like, if you're making Man City go defensive at this point in the season already, you deserve respect. There's a reason why Pep has never really ever done that, because he's usually outwitting or outplaying the opposition. And when I know they didn't end up going and win the game, and same against Liverpool, but it took an amazing free kick. Yeah. That's where you get a manager that's focusing on performance rather than just results is important for the long-term ability of the group, because every interview that he was doing was saying, look, we're playing well. Yeah. I'm quite happy. I know we haven't got over the line, but we're playing well. And I think that's what gets sometimes missed when you're talking or being critical of managers, is like when your performance level is good and you're forcing teams to defend, then you're doing something right.
Well, he's come out, I think, was it after the Palace game, when he said that was the best performance we've had this season, or that is the happiest result that I've had, which is maybe indicates that. A big question for both of you. Is this Arsenal team this season better than Liverpool's team last season that went on and lifted the Premier League title?
Is it better?
It's tough.
Yeah, it is a tough question. I'm probably going to say no. I don't think it is. I think the one advantage that they do have is, and one thing that I look at them probably compared to Liverpool's team this season is they've been together a while now. Yeah, a couple of additions here and there, but they've had a good period together. And I think you look at Liverpool's team that won it last year, and they had that. They had a settled squad for so long that had brought them success. They knew how each other worked. They knew how they worked on and off the pitch. And I look at Arsenal now and what Arteta's built over time, and I see that. I see that they've gone for a long-term plan. Yeah, this has to be the year that they finally do it, but they're in a great position to do so.
What do you reckon?
No, you can't, just purely because we're
at this stage of the season.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, they're different teams, but as I said, they're two great teams.
Okay.
Welcome back to Team Talks. For only the fourth time in history has a defending Premier League champion lost 4 Premier League matches in a row. We're going to hear now from Arne Slot, who's enduring the worst run of his managerial career so far. But the Liverpool head coach believes his players have what it takes to turn things around.
Yeah, the thing that gives me the most confidence is the quality of the players we are having. So, and the amount of chances these players are still creating. So this will eventually always lead to these players scoring more goals than we've done till now. And we have to address certain other things. But yeah, if I talk about that, if I'm speaking about what we have to improve, people then tell me I'm using excuses. So maybe it's better now just to say we need to address certain things.
Yeah, Arne Slot there saying, maybe he doesn't want to keep talking about the reasons why they've lost, because it ranged from everything to the way the opponents were playing.